You're watching ESPN's coverage of Champ Week, and welcome to the Ohio Valley Conference Softball Championship on ESPN+. Coming to you live from OSF Healthcare Field at the Louisville Slugger Park in Peoria, Illinois. We've got 2 games in the books. We started the day with 8 teams. We have 6 now. Our first game, it is not a single elimination one. She's Kirsten Dell. I'm Max Toma, and we're going to see our second look already at Southern Indiana, our first look at SIUE. And what are you looking forward to with this matchup?
Yeah, I think for Southern Indiana, they have a game under their belt, so definitely coming in, I think, a little bit more relaxed. But for SIUE, you know, they've been really good all year long, and they have the reigning pitcher of the year.
2 very young teams, especially on the SIU Edwardsville side of things. So we've got the 6-3 matchup here, just a matter of minutes away, and then it's SEMO and Lindenwood after the Redhawks got a run rule win in 6 innings just a few moments ago against Western Illinois. So if you win either of these 2 games tonight, you're set up well to have a matchup against one of the top 2 seeds in the conference come tomorrow morning. So it's not single elimination, it's double elimination from here on out, and it's the Screaming Eagles and the Cougars dueling battle when we come back. This is the tournament bracket presented by Discover Peoria with endless options. There's no shortage of fun to discover in Peoria. Visit peoria.org to discover what Peoria has to offer. Game 3 of our quadruple header. It's Southern Indiana at SIUE when we come back. Yesterday was a big day for Avery Arwood, who was announced as the OVC Pitcher of the Year. 91 and 38, the strikeout to walk ratio, 12-6. It's her 23rd start, and she is looking to help this team get to 4-0 against USI on the season. She got a couple of those wins, and even as a true freshman last year, she was terrific this time of year.
Yeah, and she has continued to build off a really terrific freshman campaign, and no surprise to see her as the pitcher of the year. Saw a ton of talent in her freshman year, and she's just really upped her game this year and has really led this SIUE team.
The starting pitchers are presented by Johnston's. Johnston's, the official recognition company of the OVC. And if there's a team and specifically a player that has a chip on their shoulder probably coming into this tournament after last year, it's probably SIUE and Avery Arwood after she took a very extremely tough luck loss in extra innings in the championship game versus Eastern Illinois last year. Wild pitch scored the game-winning run in walk-off fashion with 2 outs. I mean, she was absolutely brilliant, but they couldn't muster up a run. She took the loss, and now they're the 3 seed. They got to avoid the single elimination game to get things started. And this team at 18-9 in OVC play and 8-1 in their last 9 games is coming in a lot like we talked about SEMO last game, just playing their best.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that credit is due to the way Avery Arwood has pitched. She's had a lot of success against Southern Indiana, so no surprise to see her out there. Coach Sorden taking no chances, knows how important it is to stay in the winner's bracket, even with the double elimination. It's so important to stay on that winner's side of the bracket, and so no doubt that we would see Avery Arwood here.
And that is misplayed by Torres at short. It was a tough play, just a one-hopper right over the third baseman, Duncan. And with the speed of Caroline Stapleton, she reaches to start the game.
Caitlin Marks.
And doing exactly what her job is to do as a slapper, is just to put that ball hard on the ground. I think even if that ball would have been fielded cleanly, she probably still would have been safe with her speed. But this is what USI wants. They want to get runners on base, make things happen. They're certainly not going to kill you with power, but they're gonna make things happen on the base pass, and that's what they did in the first game.
They took down Tennessee Tech 1-0. Off one run on a 2-out single from Sydney Long in the 6th inning. Bunch shown there from Caitlin Marks. So this is OVC Pitcher of the Year versus OVC Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, Marks was really good in that first game today. I thought she had some of the best at-bats for both teams. Hit the ball really well. Kind of utilized that hole that you see right up the middle with the shortstop and Torres shaded over into that 5-6 hole. Marks looks really, really smooth and comfortable just being a freshman.
So the decision finally came in that way, an infield single, and I think we'd both agree with that call.
Yeah,
Could be an incredibly difficult play
absolutely.
for Torres. I'm not sure she had a ton of an opportunity to get the out there. So this Southern Indiana lineup looks a little bit different because you could pencil in Anna Kemp in that lineup, who is the starting pitcher. And, you know, they're batting right now, but I think a huge part of what USI has been doing well lately, and they've won a couple games in a row, is they've gotten 4 complete games consecutively in the circle. So they haven't gone into the bullpen in, over a week and a half.
Yeah, and their pitchers have been really good. We saw in that first game, and I know they're trying to look to pass the baton to Kemp, but yeah, Southern Indiana, their pitching has gone the distance absolutely, and it's kept them in these ball games.
Charging on is Fahey to make the catch. It's a good swing from Marks, right idea. Just hung up a little bit too long.
Now by the second baseman, number 15, Sydney Long.
The Cougars as the 3 seed, and when you've got the pitcher of the year, this team is going to feel like they have a chance absolutely against anybody. And if she could have a good week here in Peoria, it could go a long way to them getting some revenge potentially come Saturday.
Yeah, and I think the key to her success is that pitch you just saw right there, is that rise ball. If she can get that rise ball going, if she can get swings and misses, she's one of the few players in the conference that has a ton of swings and misses. And an excellent throw there by the catcher in Barrera. And you get defense like that behind you, SIUE definitely has a chance to make a run in this tournament.
Got a leadoff single. This was a cannon from Barrera from her knees.
Really good, just catch and throw. Great tag there by Torres at short.
So the leadoff single erased with the caught stealing, and now there's 2 outs and the base is empty. Sydney Long who had the game-winning RBI earlier this morning. Lifts this out towards right field. Trello is there. And Avery Arwood winds up facing the minimum in a scoreless first inning. A first look at the SIUE offense when we come back here in Peoria.
Energy needs may change with the seasons, but saving money makes sense all year. With CenterPoint Energy's efficiency programs, it's easy. Home energy assessments help spot ways to save. Rebates can lower heating, cooling equipment costs, and our online marketplace delivers energy-saving products to your door. Electric and gas savings, all from your local energy provider. See how you can save this winter by going to centerpointenergy.com/smartsavings.
Founded in 1910 in the Ohio Valley region, German American Bank has been raising the standards in banking and wealth management for over a century. We're big enough to provide the conveniences of modern banking, yet small enough to care about the people and communities we serve. Because we believe that when a community thrives, its people prosper. Strengthening our community since 1910. German American Bank.
Member FDIC. Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
Leading off the Cougars, the shortstop, number 4, Justine
All right, to Anna
Torres.
Kemp in the second game of the tournament for USI, who will take the reins. The freshman with a 3.94 ERA. I mean, the young guns are out in numbers here in our first game in the double elimination side of this tournament. Kemp, the freshman, she will face 3 freshmen and 3 sophomores. So 6 of the 9 batters underclassmen in this SIUE Cougars lineup. It's a roster that's got 75% underclassmen.
Yeah, and I think the keys for Kemp, if Kemp can limit the free passes, I think that she's going to have success. Stay in and around the zone. Don't get behind in counts. Work ahead. That's going to give her the best chance to have success against this SIUE lineup. But this SIUE lineup, again, they have to. I'm sure they've done their scouting, but they have to know they've got to be. They got to be picky. Kemp does walk a lot of hitters at times, and sometimes misses. Has a hard time finding the zone. So definitely be picky and finding the pitch you really want to hit.
66 walks to 61 Ks in 96 innings for Anna Kemp. Justine Torres, the sophomore, her 55th start of the season. A homer, 12 RBIs to go with the 242 batting average. Good speed. She swiped 8 bases this year. It's this on the ground up the middle. And the throw to first is off the mitt of Brown. Moomaw got there in time. That would have been bang at first if it was caught. Either way, though, Torres aboard.
And one thing about Coach Sorten and this lineup is 1 through 9, they all have stolen bases. He loves to be aggressive on the base pass. So you're going to look to see him put a lot of runners in motion with hit and run, early steals, trying to get runners in scoring position as quickly as he can.
Reagan Duncan, a sophomore from Lamont, Illinois, hitting .318. Got a 4-for-9 weekend series versus Western Illinois, where she scored 4 times and drove in 4. Had a home run, her second of the season. That came in Game 2. Both of her home runs this year have come in the last 3 weeks, where she has been swinging a mean stick. 400 average over the last 5 games with 6 runs batted in. That bounces out in front, put Mackey in a tough position, and just a good read from Torres.
And I love that about Coach Sorten in this team is they take really big leads, and anytime they see anything hit the dirt, they are taking off. You're going to see really, really aggressive on the base pass.
That's launched but foul. That's a great recipe for success, I think, in a tournament setting, especially for a very young team. That they excel on the base pass and they are uber aggressive. 2-2 from Kemp. Let's put the other way out of play. Reagan Duncan was clutch with his team last year in the LVC tournament. She was on the all-tournament team. A game-winning hit in the 5-4 win versus SEMO. In their opener, had 2 more hits versus Eastern Illinois. Another beautiful read And a free 60 feet for Jesty Torres. I mean, she is doing it all herself in this first.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Mackey's doing an excellent job of keeping those balls in front of her, but they're getting such big leads, and they're reading the ball so well that they're just able to, anytime they see that ball even remotely hit the ground, they're taking off. And so if you're Mackey, I mean, I think at some point you need to throw some picks. You need to keep them honest. Torres over there was getting huge leads at first, getting big secondary leads at second. And so I think if you're Mackey at some point, even if you don't have a shot, you just have to keep them honest and keep them a little closer to the base pass. Otherwise, they're going to run all over this field.
Reagan Duncan hang it strong, and she'll call time. Count still full. Infield about halfway in. Duncan, who was named second team All OVC yesterday. And she takes ball 4. In terms of reading balls, you know, we're used to saying in the dirt, but I guess in the turf is more the proper phrase this week.
Yeah.
Because it's the turf and you know it's going to skip a little bit, does that lend you to be more aggressive if you're Torres?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think it's harder to handle a little bit. The ball's not going to die. I think, you know, as a catcher, the ball's going to hit off you a little bit firmer and maybe spray a little farther away from you. But, you know, I think just looking even just generally at Kemp, we know at times she's struggled to find the zone. So if I'm a runner on the base pass, I want to be aggressive. If I see that ball, I am taking off. You know, basically at this point, until they prove that they can throw me out, I'm running.
At the corners, nobody out. It's a very young USI pitching staff. As Ashley Duran, the designated player, one of the many freshmen. We're going to see a lot of freshman matchups with Kemp in the circle against this Cougars team. That bounces in front, and it's another free base. And you could tell that is the game plan early on. You can mark that down as a third wild pitch. Big opportunity for Durant. But she takes wide. The freshman from Corona, California, out of Norco High School. Part of a high school team that was absolutely loaded when you hear Coach Shorten talk about it. Sent players all over the place. Multiple SEC schools at Tennessee and Oklahoma in there. He said, you know, hey, some of the best coaches from all over the U.S. were coming and watching this high school team. And, you know, we went and saw them. And here's this designated player, even then in high school, wasn't too heavily recruited, going to play with us at SIUE and playing amongst some of the best high schoolers in the entire nation. That's ball 4. First 3 have reached for the Cougars.
Now by the right fielder, number 99, Gretchen Trello.
So Gretchen Trello with a prime opportunity to pounce, and the entire infield's going to congregate inside the circle, because this is really the opposite of the start Anna Kemp and Southern Indiana would have liked.
Yeah, and I think infield's got to come in here. I don't even think you can play double play depth with your middles. You got to cut the runner out at home, especially with Avery Arwood. Runs are hard to come by for this USI team when you're not facing Avery Arwood, and so you've got to keep this score within reach.
Trello, second team All OVC, one of 2 seniors in the lineup. Bounce that back to the screen. 366 hitter this year, her 28th start. A homer at 14 RBIs. Williamsville, Illinois. Dream start, and you get a single and then back-to-back walks against the freshman Anna Kemp. Not a bad miss there on an 0-1. I mean, still, if you're Kemp, you got to lock in and focus and know, hey, ground ball right at somebody. We get the out at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think keeping the ball down in zone, trying to induce a ground ball out here, just like that, really, you know, has come back and thrown a few good pitches here now to Trello. And if you're Trello, you're trying to find a pitch that you can lift, get out to the outfield.
Trello takes strike 3. A critical K here for the first out of the game from Anna Kemp.
Anna Kemp maybe getting a little help from the home plate umpire, but she will take it. That ball maybe just catching the outer half of the plate. But if she's going to get that, I would stay there all day. If she's going to get that strike, absolutely needs to live there.
Kemp got this start in their win to end the regular season at UT Martin. Went the distance, 7 innings, allowed just 1 run on 4 hits. Had 1 walk and 5 Ks. Now trying to navigate through some early struggles and facing Abby Harvell. Harvell fouls it away. 14 doubles. That leads the OVC. 285 hitter. 7 for her last 21 over last 7 games. It's a really tough batter to strike out, too. No Ks over the last 7. Finesses it right onto the inside corner.
And if Kemp can just find that east-west, she's doing a really, really good finding that pitch down in the zone.
Plenty of high-stress pitches, but, I mean, really, since the infield came together with Kemp, she's looked like a different pitcher. On the ground towards third. Coming home for 1. Back to first. Almost the inning-ending double play.
Kemp wants that reviewed over at first base. We'll see if they get a review. So this would be huge for them, but big play, big pitch there by Kemp. Nice job there by Stivers to get that ball, and Mackey trying to be quick and turn 2. Looks like we are going to have our first challenge of the tournament.
So Southern Indiana with a challenge. I mean, it's been kind of perfect the last 2 batters. You get the strikeout. If you're Kemp, you take it yourself, and then you get a hard-hit one-hopper right at Stivers at third. Makes the right decision, comes home for the easy out to get the lead runner, and almost we saw the arm strength there from Mackey.
Yeah, these last few hitters has done a good job of really keeping the ball down in the zone, hitting corners.
And either way, this shanks out. USI's got a chance to get out of this inning unscathed. And it looks like the back of the foot is down before that ball is in the mitt.
Yeah, this should be a pretty quick challenge as it is. Already walking back, and
that's a great shot. Even live, you knew it was going to be neck and neck.
Yeah, nice job by our producers there getting that shot. That was good angle for them to see.
There you have it, call confirmed. USI's got 1 challenge remaining. And Anna Kemp, he's 1 batter away from potentially getting out of this bases loaded, nobody out jam unscathed. Betsy Woodward stands between her and accomplishing that feat. Another true freshman at the plate. They're trying to make sure they're on the same page. And Ben Sorda is going to come have a quick conversation about what just went down with the home plate umpire.
Yeah, I think Coach Sorden just talking about the amount of time that it's taken to get the sign in and then complete the pitch. That's the 2nd or 3rd time that Kemp stepped off, which is the right thing to do as a pitcher, but the amount of time it's taking, I think Coach Sorden just reminding about how much time it's taking in between pitches.
Fortunate break there for Mackey, who knocked it down right in front of the home plate, but couldn't find it. Woodward 3 for 7 with 3 runs batted in over the weekend. One ball, one strike. Her 42nd start of the season in year number 1 in Edwardsville. What a long first inning this has turned into for Anna Kemp. Infield single, back-to-back walks. You throw in a trio of wild pitches in there. But 2 batters later, still no runs across. That is strike 2. She's had success on that inside corner to righties.
Inside corner and at the knees. She's living at the knees.
That tips low. Full count. Wheels are going to be in motion here. And the 3-2 is down low for ball 4. Great plate appearance for Betsy Woodward.
Yeah, a really good plate appearance. I know, just a walk, but for the freshman to come up first at bat in the OVC tournament and to just be really patient, to let that second strike go, that wasn't a pitch that she could hit hard and work the count full and then take the walk. Really good mature at bat there by Woodward.
First pitch strike in there. The Jesuit Stairs. So, the damage dealt against Kemp in this inning is 3 walks and an infield single. Here's strike 2. Now 35 pitches. And Stairs goes chasing for the final out. Crazy first inning for Anna Kemp & Co. 2 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 hit, and a 1 run as the Cougars leave the bases loaded. But they're on the board first here in Game 3 of the day. Avery Arward in the circle. We got Fahey, Harville, Trello in the outfield, left to right. Ducky Torres, Woodward at Stairs around the horn on the infield. And Barrera behind the plate with a caught stealing in the first inning. The defensive lineup presented by United Fidelity Bank. United Fidelity Bank serving their communities since 1914. And even though with the bases loaded and nobody out in the first inning, the Cougars only got 1 run. They are right where they want to be. That is in front early with Arward in the circle. They're always going to fancy their opportunity with that situation going.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously would love to put a few more runs up on the board. But like you said, anytime you have Arward in the circle and you have the lead, you're feeling good about your chances.
Alyssa Mumaw to get things started. Came into the tournament hitting just over 300. And 305 over 3 earlier today. Pops that back to the screen. Mumaw is certainly versatile defensively. In the start, it's short in these games. She's played third, she's played catcher. Great utility piece. Who, oh, by the way, is also the cleanup hitter. 1-2 misses up and in. She had a career year by far here at 2026. The junior from Greenfield, Indiana, drove in just 7 in her first 2 seasons combined. Hit 181 or worse in each of those 2 seasons. And hits 305 as a junior. Pops this up on the infield, though. Woodward is there.
That's exactly what you're going to continue to see from Arwood is
Now
fly
batting
ball
center fielder,
outs.
Number 4, Kate Satowski.
More of a rise ball pitcher. That ball is going to, a lot of her stuff is going to have up spin on it. So even if you just miss, it's going to induce a pop out.
Kate Satowski is such a key part in the middle of this order. For a team that has 6 home runs on the year, she's got 4 of them. Leads the team in homers, runs batted in, extra base hits, OPS, slugging, you name it. Little cue job towards first. Stairs able to win the race there. For the Screaming Eagles, they really struggled to muster up any kind of offense
Now batting the designated
in the
player,
morning
number
game
19,
today, and
Olivia Money.
then you just welcome in stage right, the Conference Pitcher of the Year. They know they have their work cut out for them. But they know no matter what, hey, they're going to be here tomorrow. And it's just a 1-run game in the second. Obviously, there's a ton of softball left. But this Cougars team is, the word that sort of chose was hungry. And you know that Arwood is maybe the hungriest of the bunch.
Yeah, and I think Coach Sorden's done an excellent job of kind of setting the standard, and the standard is that we're going to go deep into this tournament. We deserve to be playing in a regional. We can compete with anybody in this conference, and we have a legitimate shot at winning this conference tournament. And I think that's when that's a standard you create, there's a little bit of a swagger that you have about yourself when you walk on the field, and I think you're seeing a little bit of that today. But, you know, certainly they can't come in, you know, feeling too good about themselves because they have a tough task at hand in USI, but certainly with Arwood and in the performance they put together in conference this season and even just building off of last season, they definitely are, you know, are legitimate contenders.
Olivia Money laces one out towards left center. That's going to get all the way to the wall. Past Harville's dive. And the first extra base hit for USI in this one.
Olivia Money does a good job. I mean, that's not a bad pitch from Arwood, kind of exactly where she wants it. Maybe a little bit over the plate, but that ball is going up, and Money does a nice job of just getting on top of that and staying through the ball.
Jordan Mackey, player right off the end of the stick. So a 2-out double. And now all they need is that same bloop single they got in the 6th inning that produced the game's lone run earlier today. But Arwood is certainly hard to string together consecutive hits against. And that's why this task could be so tall for a USI team with 6 home runs on the year. Because you see even the best pitchers in the country give up the long ball. I mean, if you square up Carlin Pickens and, 75 to 78 miles an hour, it's gonna travel a long ways. It happens to the best of them. Pop up on the infield. Duncan take a charge. Makes the call and the catch to end the inning. So Arwood gives up a 2-out double, but hangs another 0 as SIUE continues to lead 1-0 in their first game of the LBC tournament this week.
Now batting for the Cougars, the catcher, number 12.
There's your defense behind
Barrera.
Anna Kemp in this one. They were out there for a long time in that first inning. When SIU got 1 run planted on 1 base hit, but had a trio of walks and a few wild pitches. That's the biggest question mark right now in the bottom of the second is if getting out of that inning, allowing just 1 run, is able to settle Kemp down in this game, her first ever in the tournament. Because the wheels could have fallen off, and she was able to right the ship.
You hit the nail right on the head there, Max. I mean, easily the wheels could have fallen off the bus, and I think that, you know, for a freshman, it showed some grit to just kind of dig in and continue to go right after those hitters and just kind of face them.
Lifted to the right side. Pitches in 1 out as Long makes the catch on an Aiden Barrera pop-up. You know, it sounds crazy and you would never draw it up this way, but how many times do you see somebody go out there and maybe the first batter they face hits, you know, a deep home run and all of a sudden you're down right away, but it's almost like one big swing against you, or, you know, in this case, just a tough first inning overall. Can calm the nerves somewhat.
Absolutely. It's just like, okay, I got through it with minimal damage and make some adjustments in the dugout, know what you need to fix, need to change, go through that scouting report, and come out and attack these hitters.
After facing some early adversity. Kaylin Fahey is the second of the 2 seniors in this lineup for SIUE. You know, they lean on their seniors because they're few and far between. Out of Niles, Illinois. Started every single game this year. Tardy on a 2-0 offering. Couple homers, 18 RBIs. Just about as many walks as strikeouts, 15-16 in that department. In on the hands, weak roller, right back to Kemp, who takes care of it.
Easy 2 outs there for Kemp.
Now K2 in the first inning.
Now by the shortstop, number
Her defense
4,
behind her made every play required of them in the
Torres.
first game today. It's got to give her some extra faith and confidence coming off the complete game effort she had versus UT Martin in the final game of the regular season. Back to Torres and the top of the lineup. And that infield single. The chopper to the left side of the infield and moved up to second and third on wild pitches. Always so much conversation about doing the little things right in a conference tournament. Taking that 60 feet when it's offered and getting that read when you just see the ball down out of the hand. She did that so well.
Yeah, exactly. And then that followed again even with Duncan, does the same thing, gets on base, takes an extra base. And those are the things, sets the tone for the rest of the team.
In the air, deep out towards left field. Marks at the wall, and it's just foul. Torres gave it a ride.
Yeah, it seems like if you hit the ball out to left field, that ball is going to carry. Anything hit over to the right side, that ball just dies.
Now, the wind has been circling, it feels like, throughout the day. Some big, heavy gusts. Torres did not miss a solo shot by much. It's just the one home run this year, but has some pop from the leadoff spot in the lineup. And able to fight that one off that was elevated. It just feels like a group 1 through 9, despite them being young and, somewhat you could say inexperienced too. It's a very deep lineup, and they all work deep counts.
Yeah, they all have so far, and I think that shows just how prepared they are, with the scouting report and really trying to make Kemp come to them and not chasing. And I think one thing, too, we really haven't seen from Kemp is anything off speed.
Down low, Torres aboard again. That's already 4 walks for the freshman Anna Kemp. And we saw what Torres was able to do last time she was on. We'll see how aggressive they are here with 2 outs.
Yeah, and we talked about it, touched on it in the open, is the key to Kemp's success is limiting those free passes. You see already 4 of them here today. And now the second time through the lineup for these hitters, I think they need to be patient. They need to have an exact pitch they're looking to hit, and when they get it, they need to be hacking. But also, haven't seen anything off speed from Kemp, and so all you have to do is time up her hard stuff.
Rudder going, throw on a hop, quick tag, but not in time. Mumma really slapped that down in a hurry. As Torres picks up stolen base number 9. She's only been caught once this year.
We're getting another really good look here. Yeah, really good call over there by Christina Bates at second base.
Off the end of the bat. Roller towards long, and that will end the inning. Another runner stranded in scoring position. That's 3 already for SIUE as they maintain a 1-0 lead on Southern Indiana going to the 3rd.
I didn't even notice it, honestly.
First pitch of the 3rd inning is down low for a ball. It's 8-9-1. And this is our starting pitching matchup right here. Arwood in the circle and Kemp at the plate. Not a ton of at-bats for her. Coming as a true freshman this year. Just 2 for 13. The sample is quite small. 3 walks, 6 Ks. Does not have an extra base hit. Trying to help herself out. was a big cut, lost her balance. Well, certainly got her money's worth, 2-0. Got up laughing a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's hard. It looks like she might be wearing turfs. I can't tell. But regardless, I love seeing a hitting pitcher. I think it's rare, and you don't see it a ton. You see it a little bit more in softball, but always nice to see a hitting pitcher, and just kind of shows their athleticism. I mean, it's really hard to be a good pitcher and let alone be able to also hit. You have to spend so much time doing both, and so really, really awesome that Coach Kunkel lets her do both.
Well, she rocks number 17. And you think about certainly the most notable current baseball hitting pitcher, and that's definitely Shohei Ohtani. Wonder if that has anything to do with it. For the freshman from Henderson, Kentucky. I'm sure any USI fan remembers Josie Newman, and she was incredible a couple years ago in this tournament as a pitcher that also hit.
Yep.
And was, at times, one of the best bats in the lineup, it felt like, throughout stretches. It was so dominant in the circle. And, well, that's called helping yourself out.
Yeah, absolutely. Good at bat there. Finds a way on base. Arwood doesn't give up a ton of free passes. So really nice job there by Kemp.
Lily Brown.
Yeah, I think there was some question marks about USI coming to this tournament just because Josie Newman was their absolute workhorse the last 4 years. And so I think just not knowing kind of what they had from the pitching standpoint, but we saw an absolute gem from Newhouse in the first game, and now Kemp coming in and holding her own against a really good SIUE offense.
Lily Brown shows bunt. Able to pull back in time. Yeah, both these teams could have a lot of these same faces with the program in 2 and even 3 years. I mean, 75% underclassmen for SIUE. This is a team that's the 3 seed this year, and I have to imagine would only be better next year and the year to follow. That was bunted foul. Lily Brown was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts against Emily York earlier today. First at bat here of their second game of the day. 1-2 coming. Just off the outside corner. There's some folks in the crowd begging for that one.
Yeah, I think Arwood was begging for that. She took a little longer to get back up to the mound, took a little bit of a bigger walk around the circle.
Sharply hit towards Duncan at third, and it's bobbled and dropped by Woodward. So 8 and 9 in the lineup, able to reach.
And this is what USI did in that first game, is they just caused just one defensive miscue, and that allowed them to score the lone winning run. Good defensive play here by Duncan. I mean, absolute rocket. She had time, I think, trying to rush it to turn the double play, and not a bad throw over to Woodward, but looks like Woodward maybe was just, and I think Sword now called the timeout so they could review that in the dugout. I think they were wondering if maybe Woodward lost that on the transfer.
Wasn't the best feed to second. Went down E4.
Yeah, Sword looked back and was asking if they should review it, whether Woodward lost that ball on the transfer, but I think just took her eye off the ball a little too soon. Sometimes it's hard when you have a runner coming in hard, sliding into second base. You're also trying to think about turning two, and you just get a little ahead of yourself. You hear the footsteps of the runner, and then you're also just trying to be too quick and get the ball over to first base, and you forget to make the first out.
So we'll see what this does to the approach for USI, because they've got a lot of speed coming up.
If you're USI, this is their best chance. They have their top 2 hitters in the order coming up, 2 hitters that don't K a lot, put the bat on the ball, and have had some really good at-bats so far in this tournament.
Bunted towards third. They go to third and get the lead runner. It was Davis, the pinch runner, in for Kemp at second. She is thrown out trying to get to third.
Duncan making up for that last play. Really heads up play there by both Duncan and Torres. Just absolutely pounced on that ball from Stapleton. And if you're Stapleton, you want to take that bunt with you because the first baseman's playing back and Arwood has to field her position. But you have to give a ton of credit to Duncan over there fielding that ball in. Torres communicating that she does have the out at third base. Excellent job by SIUE.
Just more talk about the little things, the nuances and the fundamentals. Caitlin Marks lined out the shallow left field her last time up. Quickly behind, 0-2. So nice play from Duncan to atone for a somewhat poor throw to second. But still an opportunity with your 2-0 up there against the OVC Pitcher of the Year. And that misses away.
Marks has just really impressed me from her first at-bat until now. I mean, just takes really mature at-bats, swings at good pitches, has been really the most consistent, putting barrel on ball.
Hits this on the ground towards short. Backhanded by Torres, and once again they get the lead runner.
Another really good batted ball there by Marks. Played perfectly defensively by Torres. Good communication
Number 15, Sydney Long.
between Duncan and Torres. They continue to work really well together. Second time now they've been able to get that lead runner.
It's almost a case of just taking what the offense is giving you, right? They had a chance with the bunt play on to get the out at third, get the next out at third, and then a little half-hearted, swing from Sydney Long will end with the final out of the inning as Arwood works around the error and 2 base runners aboard with nobody out, and it's still 1-0 in favor of the 3C.
Hey girls, swung the new mantra yet?
No, but I heard that bat is insane.
Y'all want to swing for it?
Yeah, we do, but we know how that went last time.
Yeah.
Let's go, girls. Come on. And y'all can stand on your own. I guess I'll give you a couple.
We'll actually take 4.
Mantra, power on repeat.
Ready for a local getaway that feels like a world of its own? Escape the ordinary and discover the charm of Southern Illinois. With local wineries, live concerts, farmers markets, and scenic trails to explore, there's an adventure tailored for every taste bud and passion. Our breathtaking lakes offer endless possibilities for adventure. Rent boats, jet skis, or kayaks, and explore our world. Visit Southern Illinois. Start your adventure today.
What's it like to be a student athlete in the OVC? We rise to challenges and challenge others to rise with us. We show respect. We lead by example. In the OVC, we become champions on and off the field. That's OVC Sports, and you've got to OVC it.
Now by the number 25, Ashley Duran.
58 degrees. Some sun just kind of down right now. 16-mile-per-hour winds. It's really picked up throughout the afternoon. You can hear the wind at times in the background as that's fouled away off the bat of Duran. The weather track is presented by Field Turf, a world leader in artificial turf. And it feels somewhat surprising, I would say, Kirsten, to look up and see this is a 1-0 game because we've had a lot of traffic for both teams. And here we stand in a tight one.
Yeah, I mean, SIUE threatened in that first inning, had bases loaded, nobody out, and just only able to push 1 run across. And then Kemp comes back last inning and does a good job of settling down a little bit here. I think second time through the lineup. Now that these hitters, this is the second time they've seen Kemp adjust their approach a little bit, waiting for something that they can hit. Kemp will come to you. She's shown that. She does throw strikes when she needs to. I think just being ready and sitting on a certain half of the plate.
This is away here for another walk, at least one in each inning. So first time through the order, you were noting, hey, not a lot of off speed from Kemp at all.
Right fielder,
Is that a matter of not trying to show too much too early and maybe go to that look more second, third time through?
Yeah. Hard to know if she even feels comfortable, because at this point, when you're struggling to find your hard stuff, especially even halfway through the order, if you're struggling to find your hard stuff, a lot of times I would try and throw the soft stuff, see if we can mix it in. Sometimes if you don't have your hard stuff and you can mix in your soft stuff, all of a sudden you get your off speed going, and then you can pitch off of your off speed, and as the game goes on, all of a sudden you start to find your more firm pitches. But with her, haven't seen an off-speed pitch yet. And so if I'm these SIUE hitters, you're sitting on one speed. You don't have to worry about the off-speed. So pick a half of the plate, sit on it, and when she comes to you, unleash.
Gretchen Trello takes a called strike.
And we've talked about the youth of this SIUE team, and I think those approaches at the plate just come with maturity. I think there is a huge difference between travel ball and coming into college. That's a big adjustment for hitters. Is in travel ball in high school, you show up and you just, whatever the pitcher pitches, you don't really know, and you go up and you just kind of take hacks. Whereas when you get to college, you watch so much film and you see their spray charts, you see what they like to throw, you get a feel for it, and you have to just be a little bit more mature. You can't go up to the plate and expect to hit every one of the pitcher's pitches. You just can't. You're not going to be successful if you feel like you can hit the inner half and the outer half and the soft stuff. You have to learn how to pick one half of the plate that you can hit hard and stick to that. Commit to that approach when you're up at bat.
Strike three called. Trello is in disbelief. She's gone down looking twice now.
And Kemp
center fielder, number 13, Abby
goes up and away. Trello not happy with that. Coach Sorden not happy with that. But ultimately with 2 strikes, too close to take.
Hear a lot about, some of the struggles that freshmen have, kind of like when you were talking about. The other side of that is, with travel ball and pitchers in the circle, a lot of times it's more about showcasing what you got and knowing, hey, you got this inning or two, as opposed to, hey, we want you to learn and us to be able to teach you how to go through a lineup once or twice. So you see those kinds of struggles a lot with freshmen in the circle. There was a good quote from Karen Weekler, the Tennessee coach, about that last week, and just not necessarily high schoolers being able to experience failure and able to power through it and kind of learn that struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the art of pitching is being able to grind through games when you don't have your best stuff. It's easy to go out there when you're feeling good and you're pumping strikes and your balls are spinning and you're locating them exactly where you want. That's easy, but the games you go out there and you only have your 70% of your stuff and you can grit and grind through games. That's the art of a pitcher, because when you step on the mound every game, you're not always going to have your best stuff, but it's how can you make what you have that day work for you.
Betsy Woodward, who had that error on the drop throw at second. And with that defensive play on, there's nobody near second, so Durant could take a heck of a secondary lead. But just learning the nuances of, hey, even if the stuff is working, it might not work the next time against that same batter, right? How did you approach it the first time versus second time? How is she going to adjust in the box versus how are you going to adjust as a pitcher and as a team on the other side?
Yeah, absolutely. And that all comes from preparation. And I think that was for me the hardest adjustment was the amount of preparation. You watch so much film, and I was a catcher in college, and so pitchers and catchers reported to film 30 minutes even before the team. And, we were watching an hour of film before every single game. And then guess what? You play the game and you go home, and when you're eating dinner, you're watching the game you just played. And so mentally there was so much preparation that went into it. There's so many little things, and it just, as you grind through a 50-plus game season, it's exhausting mentally. And I think for some of these younger classmen, even freshmen, sophomore, it's learning how to battle through the grind, it's not just the grind of playing, but it's the mental and the emotional toll that I think was the biggest learning curve for me and for a lot of these players.
3-1 from Kemp. And that's going to miss. Bases are loaded. Just to add on, I mean, this is the biggest week of the year for any team, obviously, in the OVC. And for most of these teams, a lot of these teams, they're also having to deal with finals.
Yeah.
Just had finals at the beginning of this week or the end of last week.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. We don't even talk about that. Looks like we're going to make a pitching change here, but yeah, these are student athletes. They're competing at a really high level, and they're also achieving in the classroom.
The second time in the last 3 innings, bases loaded for SIUE as they look to add on.
Southern Indiana makes a call to the bullpen. Now
You couldn't really enter in a bigger situation if you are the freshman Ellie Robbins, who was just named yesterday on the All-OVC newcomer team. Last time out, she went the distance in a loss. 6 innings, allowed 1 run at UT Martin. 5-9 on the year. Bases loaded, 1 out. She gets Jesslyn Stairs in a 1-run game. And induces a 1 hopper, long charges, gets the out at home. It was a tremendous job, the read off the bat from Long to go get that first bounce to really ensure she could get the lead runner.
Yeah, really, really good read. It's something that you think looks routine, but Brown had to get a really good read off the bat. Gets that on the hop, and that way that ball doesn't allow that. If she sits back, she has no chance at home. So really nice read there, like you said, Max, at second base. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Bases still loaded now for Aiden Barrera. Just a heaping of traffic in every inning for SIUE, but just the 1 run. They are 1 for 7 with runners on, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. I mean, combined, both teams in this game, 1 for 13 with runners aboard. Barrera fouls it away. I started this inning talking about how it's definitely surprising looking up at the scoreboard and only seeing the 1 run. This is an inning that's got 2 walks and a single. And Ellie Robbins is trying to come in and shut the door on Aiden Barrera and the Cougs. One of the biggest pitches of the day so far. And a great stop. Flipped the mitt, slid over, got down in a hurry, did Mackey. That saves a run. Barrera shoots it the other way into right field. That's going to play to pair. And it's 3-0 Cougars as Barrera comes through.
Big time hitting from Aiden Barrera. Really nice piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Just takes a ball on the outer half. Absolutely gorgeous piece of hitting. Lets that ball get deep. That's a very, very mature at bat by Barrera. And clutch hitting with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. That's the hit that they were missing in the first inning, and Barrera comes up clutch.
Their first hit with runners in scoring position today. Comes with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Their third hit of the game. And once again, it's the bottom of the order coming through.
I was about to say, I feel like if you haven't tuned in for the other games, we sound like a broken record, but it just seems like the story of this tournament so far is the bottom half of the order coming up clutch. And that's a good team, 1 through 9, has the ability to come up with that clutch hit. And here you see it time and time again, 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up with that hit that's really needed.
Can't have that let off with the bottom third. And a lot of the best teams we've seen this week have been coming through. 7, 8, and 9. That was just foul from Fahey, who's the 9-hole hitter. 2 out runs, especially in a tournament setting, can be absolutely backbreaking. But for the team, delivering those clutch base hits, I mean, that really has you all sorts of jacked up. 3-0 lead, conference pitcher of the year. Going strong through 3 scoreless. Fahey able to lay off. I mean, every run, it's going to feel like 2 or 3 scoring every time you just get 1. When you've got the likes of Arwood in the circle, and quite frankly, with USI's offensive woes throughout 2026. 3 runs on 3 hits. We have also drawn 6 walks in this game, and we're not yet through 3 innings. And 2 of those walks have come around to score. Walk here would reload him. And it would bring up Torres in the top of the lineup. Ellie Robbins came in for Anna Kemp. Got a ground ball, fielder's choice at the plate on the first pitch. And a 2-out, 2-run single. And now another 2-out single. That'll score 1. Fahey adds to the tally. It's 4-0. She's able to draw a throw. Coming home with it. It skips away. And there will be no play. A massive miscue from the Screaming Eagles. And 2 more runs scored.
Fahey comes up clutch with a huge hit. Coach Sorten sending Barrera. Holds up the stop sign, then sends her. Ultimately, 2-run base hit. Really, really big hit from Fahey in the 9-hole.
Back-to-back huge knocks from Barrera and Fahey, and now it is Torres.
Fahey gets all the way to third base on that play, too.
Just causing chaos and havoc on the bases. I mean, as soon as she drew the throw down to second, you knew, hey, they might have a chance to go score here. The throw home wasn't too bad, but Mackey could not hang on to it. The mistakes you can ill afford. I mean, between the walks and now the error. And SIU had their chances already in this game to put up a crooked number. And now they've really been gift-wrapped a 4 spot in this 3rd inning.
You said it, yeah, gift wrap. We talked about how important in this tournament defense is going to be, and we saw in the first game with USI and Tennessee Tech, it was just 1 defensive miscue from Tech that allowed USI to win the game. And here, USI was in this game until the defense, again, defense. It's just the little things, playing catch and throw. Very animated meeting there in the circle, trying to rally the troops, see if they can get out of this inning and get back in the dugout with the sticks.
4 runs home in this SIU 3rd inning. 3 hits, a couple of walks. Stivers is 1 pitch after the visit. We'll get this to go 5-3 to end the inning, but 8 come up to bat, 4 come around to score, and the Cougars explode for a 4 spot, and they're taking firm control, 5-0 here in Peoria. Couple of massive two-out run-scoring hits from the bottom portion of the SIUE lineup. Compound that with some walks and some mistakes. The Cougars have a 5-run cushion as that struck well out to deep left, but the ballpark will contain it. Halfway to the warning track, Alyssa Mumaw flies out.
Now batting center fielder number 4, Kate Satowski.
It's the biggest swing we've seen so far against Avery Arwood. So now you're down by 5. Get the best arm in the OVC facing against you. How does this change things in terms of the approach offensively?
I don't think it needs to change the approach. I think the approach for these SIU hitters is that that USI hitters is that you've got to get on top of the ball. You've got to hit hard ground balls. We know Arwood is a predominantly up pitcher, and so if you can hit the ball on the ground hard, I think we know that USI is not going to necessarily hit for power, and so just going station to station, I don't think it needs to change their approach, but they have to get runners on base, and they have to have good quality at-bats. I think more interesting is how long does Coach Sorten stick with Arwood? Obviously, a must-win game. Now in the 4th inning, do we think about pulling Arwood to kind of save our arm, or is he kind of riding with Arwood and making sure that they really get this first one? I think that's the challenge when you don't get that bye in the tournament and you have to play on this first day. This could be a really, really long tournament. You could play 5-6 games, and so you can't throw Arwood out there every time. So if you have the opportunity to save her arm, do you?
Trello running over in foul territory with the basket catch. I mean, that's part of the thrill of any conference tournament in softball is how you play that chess game with the pitching staff. Just a great play. Corner outfielders showing off this inning. 2 outs and nobody on for Olivia Money. Yeah, you know that no matter what you're playing tomorrow, you'd love to stay on the winner's side, win this one. Obviously, in a perfect world, you'd win the first one tomorrow, too, and not have those elimination games come until later and try to limit the total number of games you have to play this week. But it's always such a difficult decision to try to pull somebody and save somebody for later on. Money goes the other way, left field corner, on the run, oh my! Fahey with the inning-ending grab. Mesmerizing defense. SIUE doing it. Both corner outfielders, Trello and Fahey, flashing the leather, and it's all Cougars here this afternoon. All the momentum favoring the 3 seed. They put up 4 runs, and then not only do they hang a 0, but a couple of the best plays of the day from anybody. They came consecutively, and that catch from Kaylin Fahey in the corner is easily the play of the day. And they've got 2, 3, and 4 coming up. How about the day that Kaylin Fahey's had? When you have your 9-hole hitter coming through with a 2-out run-scoring hit. She was the one that really kind of forced home the other run by forcing the issue on the bases. Obviously, you don't get an RBI for that, but you kind of did bring the run home in a certain sense, and then making plays like that, too.
Yeah, I think that's just the momentum and that SIUE's kind of had this whole game is they've made all the defensive plays. They finally got the clutch hit to break things open. And they're carrying that momentum, seeing if they can turn some defense into some offense, put a few more runs on the board. I know Coach Sorden would love to run the score up. There is a run rule, obviously, in softball. It's 8 runs after 5 innings. And we mentioned it last inning, but just how crucial any time you can cut a game short for your pitcher and limit how many pitches they have to throw is going to be huge for the longevity of this tournament.
Yeah, you had mentioned potentially, the option to pull Arwood. The other way to get her to pitch less is to have the game not go 7 innings. And how much would they love to put up, at least 3 here and throw her out there for the 5th and have that be the final inning today?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the message to his club is we've got to continue to press. We got to continue to put our foot on the gas. We got to continue to score runs.
Ashley Duran takes a strike. But that's why even when you have a big lead, these can be very crucial innings, not just in the game, but in the grand scheme of the whole tournament. Because it can be so important and beneficial to play just 5 and not 7 and try to shorten not just the game, but the tournament. Stay in the winner's bracket side. Play some run rule games. All of a sudden you look up on Friday and Saturday and everybody's just fresher.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the art of coaching, too, is like, how do you send that message to your team of, hey, we need to keep our foot on the gas, but how do you not get your team to look so far ahead that they look past an inning or an out or a game? And so I think that's the art of coaching is like, hey, we gotta keep pressing, we gotta score runs, but doing it in a way that it's not so that we can save our pitcher. Obviously, in the back of his mind, that's what he's thinking. But it's, hey, so we can take that momentum into the next game. And I think that is really the art of coaching right there is managing your team and managing outings and managing pitch counts and just all of the things that people don't see when they see the coach coaching third or making the lineup. There's so many decisions that go into every decision that they make. There's so many little things that go into those decisions.
Duncan and Duran back-to-back singles to start off this inning. And up steps Trello, who has shown some frustration with the strike zone of Michelle Sandahl. 0 for 2, 2 Ks, both looking. Showing bunt, gets it down, but that trickles foul.
It just goes to show exactly what we just talked about of how important those runs are. With a 5-run lead in the bottom of the 4th and Coach Sorden's still trying to sack bunt, he knows that getting these 2 runners in scoring position, how crucial those runs are. And it just goes to show every single run, every out, every pitch matters.
Everything gets magnified this time of year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Allie Robbins in relief of Anna Kemp.
And if you're Trello, you got to be protecting. You don't want to get called out.
Goes down, swing it 0 for 3 with 3 Ks this afternoon out of the cleanup spot.
Tough for Trello because those first 2 strikeouts, I don't necessarily disagree. Those were tough. And so when you get called out on strikes twice and on kind of, in-betweeners, you go up and you expand the zone, and that's ultimately what happens is you end up going down chasing.
Yeah, whether consciously or subconsciously, it'd be hard to not expand in that type of a situation. Harville takes the ball, 2-0. Ashley Duran Second batter this inning was single, by the way. 2 walks and a single. She's been on base 3 times already in 4 innings. 3-quarter swing. That's got to make you feel good about your stuff when you can garner a swing like that in a 2-0.
Absolutely, but if you're Coach Storn at third base, you're shaking your head. That's frustrating as a manager to watch. You're ahead in the count. You got your 4-hole hitter up. Excuse me, your 5-hole hitter up, and 2-0 count, and takes a swing like that. And those are the little things, the little details, like you talked about, that get magnified in the postseason.
I mean, 2-0, you want to get your A swing off 10 times out of 10, even if it doesn't result well.
Exactly.
Foul ball, swing and a miss, or what have you. Outside, good backhanded stab from Mackey. Count goes full. Betsy Woodward is on deck. She's already been on twice. Payoff pitches. Belted deep to left field, but deposited well foul and is over the batting cages. Same count, we'll do it again. 3-2 from Robbins. Ripped down the right side this time, but slice and foul. What are you going to if you're in the circle here? You see long foul ball to the left and then one sprayed the other way.
Yeah, a lefty pitcher, I always love to use that curveball and try and come in on a righty, see if we can jam Harville up. Tries to go off speed.
That's ball 4, and they are loaded. It's a big run looming at first base now. SIUE has drawn at least 1 walk in every inning.
Number 21, Betsy Woodward.
And it'll give Woodward an opportunity. 15 RBIs on the season, including 1 today that came with a bases loaded walk. Well, he's back in the first inning. Looking for another big base hit. And instead takes a strike. SIUE trying to at least get this thing to 8 so they can maybe get out of here in just 5 innings. And that's a 3-pitch K for Ellie Robbins. Woodward will about face and head back to the dugout.
Now by the first baseman, number 11.
And now Stairs. Boy, it really feels like USI has been pitching on the edge all day long. That's going to drop down fair. Throw coming to the plate on one hop. It's hit time. 1 run comes home. That'll make it 6-0, and we might have a conversation here about there not being a lane to home plate. So stay right here as the umpiring crew will converse. As it stands, it's 6-0, and that would have been an ending out at home.
And I think this call's going to stand because if the ball beats the runner, the catcher then has the opportunity to make a play on the runner. And I think that's what they're going to say is the catcher had the opportunity to make the play on the runner, and that's when the lane closed down.
Well, we should be able to tell, I would imagine, based off body language here, exactly how this conversation goes. And it looks like they are going to review it, and this will be a challenge officially now. Big-time throw from Marks in left field. That's your OVC Freshman of the Year, and potentially game hanging in the balance. Gets the outfield assist.
And my argument with this obstruction call is obviously obstruction is in play to protect ultimately the runner and make sure that there is a safe lane to slide. But at the same time, when the ball beats you by 2 or 3 steps, you can't just leave an open lane for the runner to slide. And so I think Mackey does the right thing. She catches the ball and then drops down to her knees to ultimately absorb what's going to come in that slide. And it's such a challenging rule, and it's a rule every single year that is a hot topic, needs to be addressed, has been addressed time and time again. And I don't think there is a good resolution to the obstruction rule, but it's hard.
I'm with you 100% here because, especially actually even from the other look we had it at before, it's just not in the spirit of the law because she wasn't
she
even.
She has the ball, and she's 20 feet from home plate.
She's still in the green and not even in the circle around home plate at that point. And from the last view, not even really in the picture by the time the ball was in the mitt. And, the only way to avoid this, because that's exactly where the throw took her, would be to actively get out of the way and then try to tag off to the side.
If the throw takes you into the base path.
Yeah, call stats. There was certainly no reason to change that. It just wouldn't be in the spirit of the law at all.
Yeah.
It's going to add one more to the tally, so it is an RBI-based hit for Stairs, and it's 6-0 as we go to the fifth now.
Are you ready to take your money to new heights? Get a flexible high-yield checking account that lets you customize your interest rate so you can keep your finances headed in the right direction. With Elevate Checking from United Fidelity Bank, you're in control of how much you earn. You can raise your rate with a few easy steps. Get more ways to earn more with Elevate Checking and start earning 4.00% APY. Learn more at unitedfidelity.com/elevate or visit your local banking center.
In Kentucky, we're moving forward together. Our businesses are winning, and our families are thriving. Because Kentucky is a place where business is fast, but the pace of life is just right. Now, we're looking at a new Kentucky, one where good jobs and a good life are possible for everyone. Y'all interested? We don't blame you. So come explore your new Kentucky home.
Just 2 hits to show for it so far for Southern Indiana. They trail by 6. And they have the bottom portion of the lineup coming up against Avery Arwood. First pitch swinging is Jordan Mackey. That'll sneak a few rows deep. This side of the scorebook has been very clean in comparison. Oh, at least chilly. That guy looks quite cozy. Chair set up, the full blanket. It's not a look that's too different from what you're rocking. The blanket, the heat pad.
Just Max outing me on the broadcast.
No, that's just being a veteran. That's just knowing how to come prepared.
A blanket, a heating pad, and still shivering up here in the booth.
And we got some mac and cheese too, so we've got it all working for us. Hit well out towards deep left field, towards the corner. That's going to be a fair ball. As it hops over the wall. A ground rule double for Jordan Mackey. Second extra base hit for USI today.
Really good stroke off the bat of Jordan Mackey. Just a really nice job of taking that rise ball from Arwood. Looks like Arwood might be having something going on with her finger. A lot of times when you're a rise ball pitcher, you use your index finger to really dig into the seam of the ball. And a lot of times it either can like really rip the nail off, or you can develop a callus, or it can bleed. So yep. Yeah. And so looks like they're trying to tape up that index finger, but that index finger is so important to how you spin the rise ball and how you dig into the ball. She's missed now multiple games because of this index finger issue, missed an entire series because of it, and now has had to tape that index finger or those fingers later in the season.
And it might not look like much if it's just a little blister and a little bit of tape, but I mean, that can be absolutely crucial to any kind of feel and touch you have in the circle there.
Yeah, and it is that index finger. It's so important. That's when you're pitching, especially with kind of the way Arwood pitches with that rise ball, that index finger, like I said, is digging into the seam, and the last thing that you do as you release the ball is you let it roll off that index finger.
So it's going to affect the feel and the spin. I'm sure there's going to be obviously pain probably you feel on every pitch. Is it just a tolerance thing, or like how much is this going to affect not just today, obviously, but going forward? Because obviously this is something that's not going to go away over the next few days as she's continuing to pitch with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's something she's probably pitched with in this latter half of the season. It might have just been something weird or cut it open. I know a lot of times our pitchers would do like tough skin or new skin on that index finger, tape, just anything they can to try and kind of build up almost a fake callus or even just get a little more grip on that index finger.
It's a strike called to Ellie Robbins.
Looks like they called an illegal pitch there on Arwood. You see those two lines, and when she steps out with that left foot needs to be within those two lines. And I think what happened was an illegal pitch there, so that's an automatic ball.
Yeah, the arm went out as if to motion for an illegal pitch.
Yeah, you see she comes set, right foot on the rubber, left foot back, and when she steps forward, that left foot needs to land in between those two lines. Again, that was another pitch. That foot landed right on the line, but she is leaving those two lines. And that's tough between the finger and now the illegal pitch. There's a lot of stuff going on in her head. It wouldn't be a bad idea for Coach Sorden to call timeout and maybe go calm his pitcher down, or even Barrera, the catcher, just call a timeout and let her have a reset here.
And that was a quick walk to Robbins, who didn't have many at-bats on the season in total. And it was, a finger issue on a pitch in which she gave up a double. And then walking a batter who's not had too many plate appearances this year. Now you're at the 9 spot in the lineup. You got the illegal pitch. You're certainly thinking about that landing spot with the left leg. And all of a sudden, you probably got a lot of things stirring around in your mind. 0-2 though to Lily Brown.
The NCAA just changed that illegal pitch rule. They've had those lines in place, but an illegal pitch used to be a ball and the runner advance. They took that out, so now it's just a ball on the hitter.
On the ground, just foul. There have been a couple really close ones in this inning alone. I mean, that double from Mackey was almost right smack dab on the line. Arwood does not have a strikeout yet today. He would love to get her first right here. And you could tell she's looking at that hand and the fingers after many pitches.
And I'm all for calling illegal pitches. There's rules for a reason, but it just seems like there have been multiple other pitches where Arwood has stepped out. So if you're going to call it, be consistent. If you're not going to call it, kind of let the pitcher pitch. But it's hard when you're kind of getting mixed messages as a pitcher, whether it is illegal or is not illegal.
There's a lot of people sitting in the crowd in Peoria looking at that landing foot and then looking at the hand after every pitch is thrown. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-1, nobody out. Best opportunity for USI today. And now it's ball 3. So 7 and 8 have reached. And now the final hitter of the lineup, and Lily Brown has worked it back full. With Caroline Stapleton and Caitlin Marks looming 2 up. Brown hits it sharply into center, base hit. Mackey coming around third, and she is going to score standing. USI on the board and threatening for more.
Good at bat there by Lily Brown. Battles her way to 3-2 and then just gets a pitch over the heart of the plate and sends it right back where it's pitched. I like the mound visit here from Coach Sorden. Think there may be a pitching change coming. There is some work going on down in that bullpen. We do have some action down there. It looks like 2 or 3 different pitchers getting warmed up. So I don't know if just resetting, giving a little more time for that bullpen to warm up, or just resetting for Arwood.
Yeah, Kiana Villa, Mia Volpert, and Michaela Anderson all down there right now. My question to you is, obviously a lot has changed in the last few batters for Arwood. Has the stuff looked different to you at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think you see balls tailing off, and so it looks like to me like it's a rise ball, but she's not able to finish with that rise ball because of that index finger, and so you're getting more of a screwball type action on her ball, and that just, anytime you're kind of getting more screwball-like action, you know pitcher's just not able to finish their pitch. And so absolutely, you see her kind of pulling her arm now a little bit.
Stapleton on the ground is short. Shuffle pass to Torres to Duncan to get the lead runner.
Torres and Duncan have been just really sound, really solid over there in that 5-6 hole. They've made routine plays. They've gotten the lead runners. They've played very well today.
Caitlin Marks, who's 0 for 2. Offensively, didn't have a huge outfield assist. The final out of the inning at home. 13 RBIs. The OVC freshman of the year. Fouls that back. That single from Lily Brown was the first base hit with a runner on for USI today. They had started 0 for 6. And a swing and a miss makes it 1-2. One of the biggest differences in this game is the fact that the Screaming Eagles have drawn 2 walks as an offense. SIUE has drawn 7.
Exactly, those free passes, they always seem to come back and hurt you.
Sharply right back up the middle again. Marks comes through. They go station to station. Everybody moves up 60 feet, and the bases are loaded.
Looks like they called another illegal pitch. Oh, it's going to be...
say she's out of the box.
They're going to say she's out of the box. That's going to be an out, and they're going to reset. So as Marks comes through with that back leg, that foot is out of the box. When you make contact, both feet have to be in the batter's box, and that's why you see slappers set up so far behind the box.
That is a massive call.
Yep, and that's so common, is that left leg a lot of times will either step on home plate or come out of the box.
So instead of bases loaded with 1 out, both runners have to go back 2. So Brown at second, Stapleton at first, and there's 2 away.
And a huge break there for SIUE. Sometimes that's all you need, is just a little break, capitalize on that momentum, get out of the inning, get Arwood some rest, get her looked at by the athletic trainer, and get that finger dealt with. and just kind of reset the whole inning between the finger and then the illegal pitch and now the runner stepping out of the box. Just been kind of just an inning that's all over the place, and everyone getting back to their own dugouts, resetting.
Sydney Long hits it sharply, but right to Duncan at third, and that's how the inning ends. An inning of fine margins and of keeping an eye on the lines on the turf. Southern Indiana gets a run back. They strand 2, though, and trail by 5 halfway through the 5th.
Eden Barrera.
6-1 game. That's IUE coming back up to bat. You will have 8, 9, and 1 due up. After giving up a run, but clunky top half of this inning, keeping that damage to just 1. And now they will start off things with a single of their own through Aiden Barrera. He's got back-to-back base hits, already 2 RBIs and a run scored out of the 8th spot. It's one of those fun games where it feels like, there are threats to score in just about every half inning. We've seen some great defensive gems, some big swings. A gutty pitching performance in the circle from Avery Arwood, who's clearly dealing with some pain and discomfort. Check swing fouled off by Fahey. And you said it last time through. Bottom third of the order continues to be a huge storyline in this tournament, not just in this game. That's 4 base hits from Stairs, Barrera, and Fahey combined. That's half of the team's hits. On the ground towards Long. Can they turn it quickly? 4-6 to 3. In time, double play.
USI flashing a little bit of the leather. Good turn there by Long at second base. Muma does a nice job. And really good stretch over there by Brown at first base. Sound defensive play there for USI.
Looped over towards second. The wind brings it down. And Long has it. That is a mighty quick inning for Robbins and for USI. They're hoping to keep some momentum on their side as we roll on through to inning number 6 in a 6-1 game. Top of the 6th inning, and a new arm out there in the circle for SIUE as Mia Volpert will take over. The freshman right-hander from Springfield, Illinois. He'll come in replacing Arwood, who's dealing with that nagging finger pain and injury that she's been dealing with for a decent chunk here towards the end of the season. And in comes Volpert. Was last 2 appearances and been short. 2/3 of an inning versus Western Illinois, just 1/3 of an inning versus Southern Illinois, but gets it out. And his move ball flies out to left.
I like this move by Coach Sorden. I think Arwood was just a little bit rattled in that last inning. Didn't have her best stuff. You got a 5-run lead, and you have some depth in the bullpen. And Arwood being a starter, she can re-enter. And so they sent Arwood down to the bullpen to stay loose just in case.
Double clutch, almost safe at first. Credit to Towski for just booking it down the line. Woodward almost took a little too much time. But that's 2 incredibly efficient outs to start things for Volpert.
Olivia Money.
Just 4 outs to work with if you're the Screaming Eagles. These teams trying to stay on that winner's bracket side into tomorrow. Cougars team 8-1 in their last 9 games, 11-2 in their last 13. Olivia Money's had some great swings in this game. 1 for 2 with the double. Then that incredible diving catch in foul territory out in left from Fahey. But they are running low on time. The 6th inning was the one in which they scored the lone run of the game. The first of our quadruple header. A 1-0 victory versus Tennessee Tech. And they muster up a comeback here late. Didn't miss by much, but that's ball 4. Third walk in the last 4 innings allowed by the combination of Arwood and Volpert.
Now by the catcher, number 13, Jordan Mackey.
That gives Jordan Mackey an opportunity. She's also got a double today, a double and a run scored just last inning. And another trip right back out to the mound for Ben Sorden. Not too many pitches thrown home. What do you think? Maybe just sensing a little bit of frustration on some tight calls that haven't gone our way?
Yeah, exactly. And being a freshman, obviously showing a little bit of emotion out there on the mound. And sometimes this is even more of just so Coach Sorden can have a word with the umpire on the way back into the dugout. Sometimes this is more for show, and then he can have a word with the umpire on the way back to the dugout.
I mean, sometimes
follow him here.
Sometimes it's the gamesmanship. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yep.
I was going to say that, or sometimes you let that meeting go on for long enough that the home plate umpire has to come out and break it up.
That's just a little bit of gamesmanship.
And you're more talking to the ump through the team.
Yep, exactly. I think that was less about the pitcher and more about wanting to have a word with the umpire there.
Sometimes that could lighten the mood. Out for your pitcher, too. Kind of work in a 2-pronged approach.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes our coach would come out and he'd be like, I have nothing to say to you guys. I just want to, have a word with the umpire. And it kind of just makes you giggle a little bit of, people, oh, what is he saying? It's like, oh, he didn't say a word. He didn't say anything.
A lot of times we would get the, hey, just let me know when they're coming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And that's when the inflection ticks up,
yes,
and
exactly.
As does the language. Ball at 2 strikes to the catcher, Mackey. Here comes Volpert. Trying to toss up a 0 in her first inning of OVC tournament action. With the 2 outs she's recorded, she's up and over 90 innings long as a true freshman this year now. Just trying to help SIUE see this across the finish line. Just 1 2-out hit in this game for the Screaming Eagles so far.
Good take there by Mackey. Pitcher's pitch there by Volpert.
Over towards Duncan. That ends the threat in the 6th. 2-out walk, but Mia Volpert comes in relief and puts up a 0. The true freshman in her first ever OVC tourney action. 6-1 it stays. SIUE coming up the bat.
Hey girls, swung the new mantra yet?
No, but I heard that bat is insane.
Y'all want to swing for it?
Yeah, we do, but we know how that went last time.
Yeah.
Let's go, girls. Come on. Man, y'all can stand on your own. I guess I'll give you a couple.
We'll actually take 4.
Mantra, power on repeat.
Ready for a local getaway that feels like a world of its own? Escape the ordinary and discover the charm of Southern Illinois. With local wineries, live concerts, farmers markets, and scenic trails to explore, there's an adventure tailored for every taste bud and passion. Our breathtaking lakes offer endless possibilities for adventure. Rent boats, jet skis, or kayaks, and explore our world. Visit Southern Illinois. Start your adventure today.
What's it like to be a student athlete in the OVC? We rise to challenges and challenge others to rise with us. We show respect. We lead by example. In the OVC, we become champions on and off the field. That's OVC Sports, and you've got to OVC it.
(6-1) our scoreline. 8-4 as SIUE has doubled up Southern Indiana in the hit column. Both teams with 1 error. Today's game track is presented by Visit SI. Make Southern Illinois your summer oasis. Harwood goes the first 5 innings. Goes to the bullpen for the top of the 6th. And a Kemp, meanwhile, for USI was pulled in the 3rd inning. It's been the Ellie Robbins show since. She's gone 2 2/3, allowing 2 runs. 1 was earned on 6 base hits. Walking 2 Ks sprinkled in there, and that's rocking it out towards the alley in left center. Reagan Duncan's going to be in with extra bases. A lead-off double.
Reagan Duncan with back-to-back hits in her last 2 at-bats. Putting together a really good game today. A walk and 2 hits. Really nice, smooth, sound swing. Gets a good pitch to hit. And makes Robbins pay. Not sure what the conference is about here.
Outside of missing first base, I don't know what could be looked at here, but that is going to be the challenge and what we will look at. You know, Stairs, Barrera, and Fahey have gotten some love from us in the booth, 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup. But Duncan and Duran combined have been on base 6 of 7 plate appearances. That's the 2 and 3 hitters back-to-back. Combined, they have 3 hits and 3 walks. That was the 9th hit of the day for this Cougars offense.
Max, I have to say, this might be a first. I don't know if I've ever seen a challenge whether the runner missed first base. See if we can get a look for you guys.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been much reason to on a gap shot double.
It's kind of
They're probably always going to be able to scamper up into second.
Yeah, just a stand-up double. You can kind of cruise into second base. I think we're going to get a look here. Yeah, no, I mean, clearly hits first base.
It's about as much of the base as you'd want to hit. You don't even want to hit any more than that.
Sound base running right there, exactly.
Inside
you want to
corner.
hit the inside corner.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Should be a pretty quick review.
That might be a case of use them if you got them.
Exactly. What's the worst that can happen, right?
Yeah, I'll get some cheers from the crowd. Make sure the SIU faithful. Duncan with the double.
The previous play is upheld.
And that'll bring up Durant.
Now batting designated player number 25, Ashley Durant.
Mock walk single. That's been the day so far for Ashley Durant out of the 3 spot. Still a chance to end this in 6. That's what we saw SEMO do last game. They walked away with a 10-2 victory to eliminate Western Illinois.
Ashley Durant is a player that Coach Sorden just couldn't stop speaking about on our coach's call. Just so high on her. Feels like maybe was a little bit under-recruited coming out of high school and travel ball. Max talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but was just on a team loaded with talent and just a really well-coached hitter.
Strokes that the other way. Foul.
Has a really smooth swing. Just watching her step into the box, just really quiet swing. I think that's what you're always looking at when you're looking at a hitter. There's just not a ton of movement. Head is still. Hips are nice and closed, and does a really good job of just timing the ball off her front foot. She has a good negative move and a good positive move. Doesn't get jumpy in the box. And just someone that Coach Sorden said the sky is really the limit for this player.
It's this right back up the middle into center. Pass Moomaw. And that'll bring home a run. As Durant is aboard for a 4th time. And the lead back up to 6.
Good piece of hitting there by Duran. A ball on the inner half of the plate. Stays on the inner half of that ball. Stays through the ball. Hits it right back up the middle.
Number 17, Harley Limburger.
And a player that I think you're going to see on a lot of all OVC teams in the next few seasons.
Harley Lindberger is going to pinch hit. Yeah, you got to wonder about Duran, just, as a high school player, playing with a lot of the best players in the entire country, just how much he was able to absorb and just kind of be around that when you're competing with the best and against the best in practice every day and for playing time. I'm sure that probably improved her quickly, too.
Absolutely, and I think she sets an incredible example for other players of finding a place where you're going to thrive. If she comes into SIUE and has started 48 games for them, and obviously I don't know who her other teammates were, but maybe other teammates going to Power 4 schools and fighting for time, and I think that just, we talked about this a little bit, but it's not always about going to a Power 4 school. It's about going where you feel like you're going to be a really good fit, where you're going to thrive, where you're going to be able to play. I always tell players that is, go where you're going to play. You work hard so that you can play the field and not sit the bench, and I think that she's an incredible example of one that didn't get caught up in the Power 4, SEC, kind of Big 12, have to go to one of these schools, and found a school that's a really good fit for her.
Part of this California influence on this Edwardsville squad. So Limburger up there. She is 7 for 42 on the season. 167 average, but working this count deep. And she will reach. First three on, and the SIU East 6th. And they continue to draw just a ton of walks. That is the 8th of the day.
By center fielder number 13, Abby Harville.
Harville bunts, gets it down, and does the job.
I think that's the storyline for this USI team is I don't care how good you are in any facet of the game, offensively or defensively. If you give away 8 free passes, it's going to be really, really, really hard to win a ball game. And so obviously talked about how they fought their way out of a single elimination game, now into the double elimination part of the bracket. But if they want to make a run, they're going to have to clean up those free passes.
So productive sack bunt moves that potential winning run into scoring position, but it looks like we will have a change in the circle with Betsy Woodward due up. And Kylie Whithouse, who went the distance in game 1. Looks like the new arm that will enter with 1 out at 2 on here in the home half of the 6th. Back to Kylie Whithouse, who went the full 7 innings in game 1 of the day and game 1 of this tournament. She was terrific. Complete game in shutout fashion. 5 strikeouts. Capped the game with that final K of the day. Worked around 2 1-out singles in that last inning, too, and knocks this smash right back at her down and gets the out at first. Welcome to the ball game, Kylie Whithouse. I mean, that was self-preservation mode.
Wow. That's always a scary scene. Glad she was able to gather herself and get the out, but always scary. You see so many of these pitchers now wearing face masks because by the time you land, you're not but about 38 feet away from the hitter, and that ball gets on you in a hurry.
That gets past her. Could be ball game over. Base hit into center. Instead, she somehow turned that into an out. Could have also just been a very dangerous play. I mean, she's been sitting down for a few hours after capping off that first game. Comes in here late. What a play that was. That'll get your heart palpitating. 2-0 count to Stairs. Comes out Hackett. It fouls it away. Base hit here. Could end it late at 6. SIUE looking to go to 4-0 on the season against USI. On the ground into center. That's going to score at least 1. And a stop sign at 3rd. At least the game continues. RBI hit for Jesselyn Stairs. He's 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs.
Now batting catcher, number 12, Aiden.
That brings up Aiden Barrera, who's 2 for her last 2 with a couple of ribbies.
Again, the bottom half of the order coming up huge. I mean, between 7, 8, and 9, 5 hits between the 3 of them today, and that's impressive production out of the freshman, the sophomore, and the senior.
5 hits and 5 RBIs from the bottom third. That's why you look at this lineup, and you can't really find any holes there. Every single spot in the order has reached at least once today. Runner goes, no throw. Takes away that potential force out at second. Barrera's had some great swings today. And you could see Whithouse just trying to keep that left arm loose. Been a long day at the office. So these teams are used to playing doubleheaders every day, or every weekend, I should say, every series. So that's something their bodies are very used to.
Absolutely. I think that is something that is unique about some of these mid-majors is a lot of times they do play doubleheaders on Saturday and one game on Sunday, whereas a lot of times with the Power Fours you're seeing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday series.
Dropped at first. That ends the game. Wait, only that first run matters. That last play didn't matter that she was safe because it was already 9-1.
And that's why you run out every single ball you hit if you're watching this at home, because no matter what, again, that 60 feet ends the game. Fitting end for kind of a weird game by SIUE and USI, but ultimately at the end of the day, SIUE came in clutch. They were 7 for 18 with runners on and 5 for 14 with runners in scoring position. And I think most notably, they had some really timely 2-out hits, 4 for 8 in the game with 2-out hits. And like we talked about, 7, 8, and 9 really coming up clutch for SIUE.
Yeah, probably the best all-around performance maybe of the day, given the quality of the defensive plays we saw from them, the timely hitting, the consistent hitting, and the patient approach too. They were able to draw a ton of walks, so it'll be SIUE that stays on the winners bracket side. They will go face UT Martin in game 1 tomorrow, the 2 seed at 10 a.m. And then it's the 5 and 4 coming your way shortly. That's our final game of the quadruple header. A win would mean a berth tomorrow in game 2. Back-to-back quad headers against Eastern Illinois, the 1 seed, and the reigning tournament champs. Meanwhile, on the other side, elimination game tomorrow night for USI. They will face the loser of our next game to follow. So 3 games in the books. We've got 1 more in store today as we say farewell for now after a big win for SIUE. So for my broadcast partner, Kirsten Dell, and myself and our entire production team here at Peoria, we're saying so long from Louisville Slugger Park with a final score 9-1. The 3 seed SIUE takes down the 6 seed Southern Indiana. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.